Morning, everyone. We got the morning market rundown here. Let's dive into this. So we got the S&P 500 here, the daily time frame. You can see here that on this recent bounce, we rallied right into this year-to-date volume weighted average price high, and we rejected. So we slapped an anchored VWAP there, and we could see here on this recent rally from Monday, we rallied right into this prior anchor from the handoff of the year-to-date volume weighted average price. Brings us into the intermediate time frame, and we can see that we rallied right into the 5-day moving average that's declining yesterday. So we'll see. This will be our 2-day VWAP. This will be our week-to-date VWAP. Okay, we're going to be monitoring this week-to-date VWAP. Monitor a quick flush underneath this prior low, maybe even into these lows here at 551.86. Then see if we could get a bounce and some consolidation. If we can't get back above this week-to-date VWAP, which is our 2-day VWAP at this point, monitor for the trap and that further decline that could potentially bring us back down into this 541, 540 region, which is our 2024 year-to-date volume-weighted average price. So you could see the history as price came down to this price indicator, the 2024 year-to-date, you could see the reaction. So we're going to ask ourselves, what will be different this time, and will it be different this time? So we'll see and find out here. So that's the idea of the S&P 500, is that if we flush down, can't reclaim back above this 556 and monitoring this week-to-date volume weighted average price, the path of least resistance continues further to the downside. If we could rally up and maintain above this week-to-date volume weighted average price, then monitor for potential further upside push back up into this 572 region, which this is the same indicator as our year-to-date volume weighted average price high. So we'll just change that, make it silver like we see on the daily, because that you can see that these are the same points in time. On the 30-minute time frame, it rejects this silver. On the daily time frame, it's rejecting the silver. So just to kind of see that play out on a different time frame. So we're going to monitor our week-to-date volume weighted average price. If we're holding above 566 and above the daily VWAP, monitor further push into the 570 premises. And remember, we have a declining 5-day. If we can't reclaim the week-to-date volume weighted average price, 566, monitor that further fast decline down into the 2024 year-to-date volume weighted average price around this 543 premises to 540. Moving on to the QQQ. We got the QQQ here. We could see we have the 2024 year-to-date volume weighted average price here. Same thing as the S&P 500. Price rallied off and rejected that 2025 year-to-date VWAP. And we could see the same price reaction of the blue line here of the 2024 VWAP on the daily, the price reactions. So perhaps that maybe we're getting these same situations where it comes into these areas and then maybe we come out. Ideally, it's not a prediction. It's just a potential level of interest and studying how history has reacted of the past year in these areas. Undercut, reclaim these, and then we start to trade higher. Undercut, potentially reclaim. So we'll see if that's going to fuel the push to get us at least back into this premises, or do we have further decline and downside, maybe down past this 450 and maybe even down into the 400. So again, not a prediction, just potential scenarios, being ready for downside risk. We're going to monitor this to see same idea here on the QQQ. Let's just delete this here. And we're going to monitor to see that week to date volume weighted average price to make sure that that's our line in the sand. So let's see if we get a pullback underneath these lows, maybe even flush into these lows, quick rally, consolidate near the daily 2-day VWAPs and get back above. And then maybe trade back into that year-to-date volume weighted average price into this 483, 489. If this flushes and can't reclaim this 466, monitor a failed move out of that 466 to the downside here. So that's trying to grab my drawings here. So that's a potential play, and then we're monitoring this down into this 450 area like we just talked about. So that's our morning market rundown. Hopefully this is helpful. Enjoy your day.